I'm really excited and pleased to see so many people in the room at the end of a two-day conference. We started off setting the scene with a video that was made up of interviews with college students and Gen Z graduates. And that really set the scene for the challenge that we have as an industry. And I think it could be best summed up by one comment from one of the graduates. And the question was, would you recommend our industry to someone else? And they said, well, no, that sort of depends. You've got person A and person B. Person A that likes to go out for midweek meals, socializing, walking their dog in the morning, no, wouldn't recommend it to them. If you like to work hard and you want to earn some good money, absolutely, I'd recommend the industry to them. But why can't we have it both? That is the challenge that we have as an industry. And it's a real important challenge because if we don't fix that challenge, we'll simply run out of people that we need to deliver the pipeline of work that's ahead of us. And that is ultimately the content of the Disrupt or Die report. And in terms of that strong alignment on the need for change, another interesting conversation I had with one of the panelists was, are you a bit disappointed with how things are going so far today, John? And I thought, that's an interesting question. I said, well, no, why do you say that? And she said, well, all of the panelists are agreeing with each other. We're not having any disagreements here. And I thought, wow, actually, that's true. But how good is that? That shows that we all understand what our problems are, and we largely also agree on what we need to do about it. So in terms of some of the detail, we talked about productivity, and we said that there are many big opportunities, but really there's a lot that everyone here in the room could be doing themselves. Little things which add up to make big things. And the phrase that we noted was, we just need to have a crack. We also need to involve the supply chain because 80% of the value of our industry is delivered by companies with less than 50 employees. We talked about the importance of flexibility, flexible working, and agreed that flexibility is not just about working from home. It's working from different offices. It's working in part-time arrangements, in job share arrangements. We also tackled the issue of environmental sustainability and asked whether we could get to net zero in 10 years. I think everyone agreed that this was going to be a real challenge, but importantly, if we were going to have a chance in doing this, we have to start now. And the process would involve carrots, sticks, and interestingly for me, tambourines. If you were there, you'd know what they were talking about. And another interesting quote was, we have been running a marathon in flip-flops, and we need to take these off because we need to start to sprint. So then we came to the Gen Z panel, and for me, that was truly the highlight of the summit. It's clear that the future is bright, but importantly, it's only bright if we can keep hold of those Gen Z people in our industry. And they set a challenge for us. They said it's all well and good talking about flex, it's all well and good providing flexible work opportunities, but if the senior people in our industry are not walking the talk and are working 12 hours, it's going to be very difficult for others to take up those flexible opportunities. And at the start of today, we asked where disruption was going to come from. And we talked about we need to pinch with pride. And we also need to focus on transparency, trust, and teamwork. And we need to develop metrics in terms of these key reform areas so we can track our progress and know that we're actually achieving change. Meg Redwin on one of the panels called out the need to walk the talk on diversity. And that really struck a chord in the room. In fact, that was the only panel that I observed where someone made a comment and there was a large round of applause. The technology applied group, we even agreed that engineers can make mistakes. Well, you could blow me down with that revelation. As a quantity surveyor, I know all about engineers and making mistakes and having to develop claims to cover up for their mistakes. And we also learned that if you are not using AI, you will be soon at a competitive disadvantage. The Tech Trends panel helpfully told us that help is on the way. Interoperability and data sharing have to be at the heart of any digital transition. And that we should also consider following the banking and insurance industry and actually looking at sharing some data amongst ourselves within industry. There are some things where actually it is better to give up some of that IP and share that IP for the greater good of the industry. And then, to cap things off, we had lawyers telling us that we need to introduce fairness into construction contracts. Well, now if change is not on the way and you don't hear something like that and know that change is on the way, well, I don't know what is change. I thought that was a real sign that we are really starting to make some progress there. So I have a closing request to all of you in the room. Whether it be talking about productivity, engagement of the supply chain, adoption of digital technology, or diversity and inclusion, we all need to learn to trust each other once again to drive progress in these areas. And we also all need to walk the talk. And if we do that, we will start to see the change that we all here in this room agree is necessary. I was proud to stand up here yesterday and announce a pledge on behalf of ACA members in this same regard, in terms of walking the talk. ACA members have pledged to develop flex plans for all employees, both at site and in the office. They've pledged that within 5 years, 75% of our members will have WGEA accreditation as an employer of choice. And we've also agreed to shine a spotlight on the great opportunities that exist within our industry. But please, to finish things off, and I know I did this yesterday, but I just need a little bit of reassurance. Please raise your hand if you're on board, if you commit to making some change, or however small it may be, and walking the talk. Thank you very much.